Thanks for staying with us here on TVC Breakfast. It's enough time for us to look at what the papers are reporting this morning, and I'll be doing this with my colleagues, Etoma, Veronica, and Ria. Nation newspaper is the first with me, with the headline, of course, expected. Workers deserve commensurate reward for hard work, says government. And the riders read, will make laws friendly to labor. NLC seeks opening up of civic space. NJC hammer falls on 3 judges. Justices Inyang Ekwo Aliyu on 1-year suspension and 27 other judges under investigation. Edo reforms driving long-term private sector-led growth. Above the masthead, Delta APC ready to receive Ibori. Oborewuri declares bank charges on SMS alerts go up to 50%. And President should remain in South till 2031. The interesting thing here is what we were discussing, workers deserving commensurate reward for hard work. The government is now the one talking here, and you were asking, you know me, you're doing me.
When I saw that headline, I said, oh, government is saying that workers should be paid what is commensurate to what they do. And they are the ones that insisted that it's 70,000 or nothing. And when we look at the labor, earlier on somebody was saying, is the labor, okay, you were the one that said, is the labor that negotiated 70,000. The average worker doesn't have a savings. And then these negotiations are going on and on and on and on, and these guys are not having money. It puts a lot of pressure on labor. I guess that's why they said, look, let's get somewhere, and then maybe later we are going to go forward. We just hope that at the end of the day, we are going to have a workforce that is patriotic because they are well remunerated.
Let me return that question to you. Do you think the NLC, TVC are actually representing the masses, or the workers, or they are now politically entangled?
Ibrahim, you want to put me in a tight spot, but this is how I'll answer this question. I feel, from my perspective, a majority of Nigerian workers no longer trust the NLC, organized labor, whatever you want to call them, because of how they had dipped their hands into political activities. And then we did not hear them speak until days leading up to Workers' Day. What are you silent about? The kinds of negotiations you're supposed to have that is holistic, that should take care of the average Nigerian worker. You're not talking about that. You are involving yourself in certain things that do not even influence the average worker. The places you should go, talk about the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, look at how they can, cut down the prices of certain things. You don't go there. All you are after a certain, you're talking about picketing. That's not the only tool you should have. You should be able to know how to negotiate in the interest of the average Nigerian worker. That's my perspective. As it is right now, labor has not tried. If they had stood their ground to say, you know what, let's even push this money to 100,000 naira, and then meet with state governments that are collecting more allocations as we speak, that are meant to pay these salaries. What are they doing with those monies?
That's right.
Labour have their chapters at the state level. How are they engaging the state governors? That's my question.
And for me, it's sad that, today's Workers' Day, so you see everybody coming out to talk, and after they speak today, it just goes down the drill. And I don't know if you saw this research that came out that a lot of Nigerians and workers don't have up to 500,000 in their account. Why? Because if you're paying somebody 700, I was saying 700,000, 75,000 naira, how can the person save? What do you want to save?
A lot of Nigerian workers don't have
you paid transport? How would you save? So I feel like it's sad that we have to wait till it's Workers' Day before we say this. And trust me, Etoma, it will go down the drain. By tomorrow, you will not hear anything again. I feel it's high time that labor takes this serious. People are really going through a lot. Nigerians are suffering. You cannot pay somebody 70,000 naira when they have to pay transport, they have to eat, there's so many things that have to be done. And let us remember that the cost of living is now high.
It's very high.
So how it was before is not the way it is now.
Especially in the face of insecurity, where food security is also a challenge for a whole lot of people. Nigeria News Direct is next. May Day, you must continue to call for accountability, good governance. Atiku tells labor unions, faults Tinubu government over workers' welfare neglect. World's biggest cotton factory in Ogun State set for groundbreaking. That's according to Abiodun. Federal government set to finalize 1.5 trillion naira concession deal for 9 major highways. Let's move on to the next newspaper, which is the Guardian newspaper. Agitations over cost of living crisis, workers' welfare on May Day. 2 million Nigerian children yet to be immunized. This according to UNICEF. And we have UBE fund. Tinubu approves 5-year backlog for states. Pandemonium at Port Harcourt refinery as EFCC quizzes acting MD. Customs seizes 921 billion naira sex enhancement drugs contrabands. Etoma, I don't know whether that story interests you. We just talked about people having difficulty to eat. Some people are thinking of the other room.
I hate
you. Look, I have to tell you this. Look at the demographics of any society. The rich ones have very few children. The poor ones have more. You know,
and if one will do another.
I mean, the poor man has to enjoy himself somehow. But I think it's an opportunity for us to let them know that sex-enhancing drugs just helps you for that moment.
That's right.
And after that, you're going to have a long-lasting problem. You understand? So why use it? Why use it? If you can seize them, please seize them. Oh yes, a whole lot of people have died.
For me,
because it affects the heart.
I always say, if it's not there, it's not there. Leave it.
Finish.
If you can't perform, you can't perform.
Right. Let us move on, and then you still be the one to complain at the end of the day. Let us move on to the next. Impersonal. Let us move on to the next paper, which is the Daily Independent. Citizens gagged can't express themselves freely. That's according to NLC, who is lamenting there. Rivers lawyers protest in Abuja seek Fubara's reinstatement. Khan urges national reconciliation calls for mutual trust. Lagos committed to development of creative industry, and we have experts warn RMRDC bill will put thousands of jobs at risk. Veronica, very quickly, just as short as you can, is it true that we have citizens gagged in Nigeria and that they can't express themselves freely in the face of the social media and even the attacks on government and all of the things that we see? Do you think there is no freedom of information in the country?
Or freedom of speech.
Or freedom of speech.
You mean? Well, where your freedom starts or ends, another one begins, whichever way you want to look at it. I think that it depends what we term as freedom. Some persons just want to speak and just pull down the people, pull down government, whichever way they want, and not so that then there are no laws that puts them in check. And it's unhealthy for our society. From my perspective, if I'm speaking the right thing, if you know you're speaking the right thing, nobody has gagged you. But if you say something that government needs to call you to question, it will do that.
That's right.
So I think we need to understand the context that NLC is speaking about.
That's
I know that Ajero was, you know, was it, I don't want to use the word arrested, but he was called to question at some point over certain statements that he made. And if that is the case, he needed to be questioned.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because Nigerians say a whole lot. In fact, what a Nigerian, a prominent Nigerian will always go out of the country to even demarket the country, all in the name of, you know, I lost election and everything has to come down. The Punch newspaper is next. May Day push. Labour demands wage review to ease cost of living crisis. National Assembly to address workers' concerns. Labour rejects 70,000 naira pay over rising inflation. Others. CBEX resumes operations despite SEC ban. 1.2 trillion naira EFCC probe. Next is Daily Trust. 2027, ACF gives conditions for North support. North Central governors, more joint security operations. Bank customers to pay 6 naira on every SMS transaction alert from today.
Can they send emails, please? Can we do emails?
Etoma, you can go first.
Oh, boy. When we're discussing it off camera, I said, look, I'll go to the bank after this and say, today is public holiday. I'll do that on Monday. I said, look, I don't need SMSs anymore. Send me emails.
But you pay for emails.
I know that you pay for emails, but it's not as high as 6 naira. They send you SMSs on every transaction that you do, 6 naira.
And then we also send you unsolicited messages.
Unsolicited messages and all that. You know, all those, we are talking about what workers are paid is not enough. And every aspect of our lives is going up cash-wise. The banks are pushing everything up. Somebody told me one day that the only thing banks do not charge for is the air you breathe in their banking hall.
If they have the opportunity
they will charge. They will charge.
There is this international saying that banks are designed to take your money. I don't want to use the exact word that they use, that banks are designed to take your money. So they give you all sorts of ways to take your money.
Of course. But as it is now, they are pushing people to look at other ways of keeping their money. what happened to the piggy banks?
Yes.
That's what people might have to resort to, because how much do I have? And you're deducting 6 naira, for goodness sake. You deduct 6 naira every month. What is left?
Are they deducting the money and then you see minus?
I heard someone speaking at some point, and he was angry that he dropped a million naira, and he goes back, the money is not up to a million naira anymore. You see, the unfortunate thing is everybody just want to take monies from people because they need to generate funds as it is. The situation that we find ourselves, talk about inflation and everything, everybody is looking at means of picking monies out of people's hands, struggling Nigerians, unfortunately. But it's unfair if we are to talk about it sincerely. It's unfair. 6 naira is a lot. How did they arrive at that figure? What are they using that monies for?
They should cost of prevailing economic situation.
I mean, you are making a kill. Do you know the interest they have been making in recent times?
Oh, they'll declare those interests.
And my problem is with the amount of messages that they send, you cannot tell me that you want to take 6 naira from all those messages. It's not even possible. So if I'm a person that I do a lot of transactions a day, you're telling me that every message that comes, I'm going to pay 6 naira. It doesn't even make sense.
From even transactions is even a kill.
And we're talking about this on...
No, I mean, I was going to say 15 naira on 10,000 naira.
And we're talking about this on Workers' Day, where I even thought they wanted to say that now we're not even going to pay for the messages that are coming, and now you're saying that you're increasing. These are things that we need to look at. We should not try to exploit each other as well.
Platform Times is next. Fubara Prostrates begs Wike for forgiveness amid Rivers' political crisis. That's according to sources, as Rivers retrieves vehicle from a suspended deputy governor. Akwa Ibom governor hints at defection, compares PDP to 40 aircraft. Amazing. Court dissolves 13-year marriage over wife's stubbornness, sexual starvation. Federal government witness reviews how Nnamdi Kanu arrested with woman in Lagos hotel. Edo dethrones 3 monarchs over breach of traditional laws. If you can quickly spare just one quick thought on this Rivers, political hulabaloo, saying that Fubara Prostrates begs Wike. At the end of the day, what we want to see in River State is peace and, representative government.
If it is true that Fubara did that, that's what he is trying to achieve. He has been spoken to by a whole lot of people, including Mr. President, after the suspension, and I'm sure that people in River State too, apart from those ones that are agitating on the streets, the ones that really want peace and know that that is where it comes from, I've also talked to him, and he has weighed everything. Moreover, Wike had said that if he comes begging, he will forgive him and everything will be okay. So he has, if this actually happened, he has done it. So let's see what Wike will do.
That's right. Veronica?
Agreement is agreement. Wike, in his usual style, that is a particular statement I like hearing him talk about. But if it is true, because we're just hearing sources saying it, because it was supposed to be a private meeting, but we are hearing sources speak about it. Well, if he did, it's because there was an agreement, and he decided to renege on the agreement because of perhaps pressure from here and there. You're a man, be a man, or whatever it is. But you see, you must always remember that you had someone who brought you in, whether we like it or not. And so, as it is now, if he is saying, okay, I am sorry, and all of it, so what happens to the 6 months government suspension? Will he be reinstated? What happens afterwards? The people at the heart of this are the Rivers people, and their interests should be represented at the end of the day. Will this apology resolve every issue that we've been talking about? Let's wait and see.
But I always say you cannot bite the finger that feeds you. So I've said about his story countless times. I think that is a step in the right direction that he apologized, because we said it, once you make an agreement with somebody, you have to follow through. I cannot agree to give Ibrahim this cup and in the middle of the show I'll say I'll take it back.
What
it
if
doesn't
Ibrahim
work that
now
way.
asked you for 3 of those cups instead of 1?
Ibrahim, are you that greedy?
I don't know why you guys are debating me while I'm sitting here.
And they want you to answer.
Yes.
Are you greedy?
No, but I think at the end of the day, the Rivers people are the priority. They are more important. So if this is going to bring peace and tranquility, then I think step in the right direction.
That's right. Before I move to the last paper, look at this headline at the bottom strip. Nigerian man arraigned in Malaysia for biting off policeman's ear, faces multiple charges.
I think he was trying to resist arrest.
Nigerians and doings, you know, not within the country, but also outside of the country. Last paper for review, which is the Sporting Life. Last but not least, Fenerbahce asks Osimhen, name your prize. Safi says, I'll give the money. Wow. Osimhen will stay if you find out that. You see the ellipsis there. Haaland returns to Man City training. Ronaldo goes trophyless again. Dembele doubtful for Arsenal's UCL second leg clash. Van Dijk leads Salah in race, and Barca eye £40 million rated Rashford. Veronica, maybe you want to name your prize now.
Well, as we know, Osimhen, one of the topmost striker in the world right now, he's hot cake. He is the first African to have won the Golden Boot in Serie A.
That's right.
And so everybody is looking for him. Fenerbahce actually had the opportunity last season to, buy him. But they decided to pick a Youssef from somewhere, I think Napoli or so. And no, not Napoli, but somewhere else. But as it is right now, Galatasaray and Fenerbahce are rivals. And so, although he's on loan to Fenerbahce, or Galatasaray, I meant to say, although he's on loan to Galatasaray, Fenerbahce wants him by all means.
So Osimhen is the middle.
But right now, Galatasaray is saying, even though you're on loan, we want to keep you permanently. So it's going to be a hard one for Fenerbahce to take him off Galatasaray as it is, because in 36 games, he has got 38 goals. Would you sell that kind of person?
That's right.
No.
And Osimhen is also thinking of, okay, which one pays me more?
Not just
money,
the money,
but not just the money, but if you work with good team. No, if you work with good team.
Good team and the money as well, but the good team.
That's the bottom line.
Money is the bottom line. Forget
I think Victor is a great player. I think he's made Nigeria proud in so many ways.
I mean, to be the first African to win the Golden Boot in Serie A, that's a lot.
It's a whole lot.
He's worked hard for it.
Well, that's about it for the newspapers of